I'm going to show you how to turn these strips into this quilt. Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff. Are you excited about today's quilt? I know I am. This is one that I made back in February, March of this year. And when I saw these fabrics, which are the Ruby and Bee collection from Windham Fabrics, they spoke to me multiple times, telling me I must make them into a quilt. And so this is what I came up with. One of the things I love about this quilt, especially as a designer, is that I am giving you a color palette and a design, and probably no two quilts are going to be alike. It is not a quilt by number type of thing. You get to have some creative freedom to put the colors together to make the strips. You'll be making a total of 48 blocks. There are a number of fabrics in the kit, more than you will need, so you do not have to use them all, but they are all from the Ruby and Bee collection and then also the Dot to Dot collection, both from Windham Fabrics, both by the same designer. They go together beautifully. So you're able to pick and choose the color combinations that you like. You are going to create 12 sets of 3 fabrics. Now, I just want to note that you are able to use just 11 sets. So if you can't make a 12th set, it's not a problem. You will still be able to get your 48 blocks out of 11 sets, but all the sets have 3 fabrics in them. Now, I stayed within the color family to do my color sets, but you could certainly make any combination that you like. It's up to you. You'll be taking the 3 strips and sewing them together lengthwise so that they form a rectangle that is 6.5 inches by the width of the fabric. Now, I did stagger these strips. I didn't do that to all of them. So if you sewed your strips so that all 3 pieces are equal, that is fine too. And now we have sewn all the strip sets, so all the strips are together in groups of 3, as I had grouped them before. And now it is time to cut our triangles. Now, I was hoping that I owned a special triangle ruler, and apparently I don't. Shocker. But I'm going to show you how you can use just a regular ruler that does have a 45-degree mark on it. And the ruler should be probably at least 12 inches long. You could do longer, but the 12-inch ruler works just fine. I am putting that 45-degree mark right along the bottom and making any little adjustments that I need to. This is going to be a fairly forgiving block, so I am going to move this over as far as I can and I am going to cut. Now, on my particular ruler, that 45-degree mark meets up at the 1-inch mark. I know it's a little hard to see. Let me bring it up here so you can see. So 45-degree line comes here and it's at the 1-inch mark. The length of this side is 9.5 inches. So I just want to make sure that, because I start at 1 plus 9.5 would be 10.5. And indeed, I'm getting to the, close enough to the 10.5-inch mark. If it's not exact, it's a little short, it's going to be okay. We're aiming for about that. So now that we have the end trimmed off, I'm just going to rotate my ruler. I am ambidextrous, so I'm going to be cutting with this side. Otherwise, you would just turn your strip around. And again, I'm just going to line up. So I have the 45-degree mark here along the edge. And then also I want to make sure that this edge, I am putting it at the 10.5-inch mark. Because again, from 1 to 10.5 is 9.5 inches in length. And I'm just going to slice that off. There we go. Might be time for a new blade. All right, and that is one triangle. Set that aside. And then again, you would either turn your strip set or just turn your ruler, lining up the mark there. It's my 45-degree angle at the 10.5-inch mark here. And I have my second one. Now you'll notice that these two are different. The center strip, of course, is the same, but the larger piece on the triangle is opposite. And that is fine. We're going to end up with 2 of each. So set those aside for a moment, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep cutting this strip until I have 4 triangles out of this set. All right, now that I have my 4 triangle sets, I'm going to set those aside. If you do have a special ruler, sometimes they have a bunch of parallel lines so that you're able to make sure that your strip set stays even. But again, no need to worry. It's going to turn out just fine, even if you don't. No need to worry if sometimes you're missing a little bit of a point. It's all going to work out. From your solid fabric, you are going to cut 24 9.5-inch squares. Now, I did cut my squares a little bit larger, so I think I may have cut them 10 inches. You just want them to be square. You will still get the same number out of the same amount of fabric within a few inches. So it isn't really going to add anything by making your squares a little bit bigger. Once you have your solid squares, you're going to cut them once on the diagonal. Once you have your strip sets cut, then you are going to pair each one up with a triangle from the squares that you cut. I did cut my squares a little bit larger than probably what they need to be, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough wiggle room for trimming them all up. So once you have those 2, you will just put them, of course, right sides together and sew. And you will end up with your block. And then you want to go ahead and trim your block. I am going to use my large trimming ruler here. And this has a 45-degree down the side, which I'm aligning with the sewn seam there. The block is going to get trimmed down to 9 inches. So it is a 9-inch unfinished. Turn that around. Now that I have 2 sides trimmed, I'm going to make sure that my point of my block is right at the 9-inch mark. I'm along the diagonal. Not a whole lot to trim off on the orange. There we go. And there we have our block. So I'm going to make all of my blocks, and then it's time to play on the design wall. Here at the design wall, I started laying out the blocks. You need a total of 48. It's 6 across and 8 down. You can achieve this, of course, by making 12 strip sets. But if you do make 11 strip sets, you will just need to go back and cut 4 additional triangles. And you can do that by choosing 4 of your strip sets and cutting that 5th triangle from that strip set. I hope you enjoyed this quilt as much as I enjoyed making it. And the quilt is currently hanging at my favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green in Snow Hill. However, they have opened a second location in Weissport, Pennsylvania. Kits are available in both of the shops, and they are also available online. Links are in the description below. Also, this is a free pattern. It's my summer free pattern. And if you would like a copy of the pattern, just join my mailing list. Link in the description below. Until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me. And why not check out this?